Leroy, it looked to be that we didn't get the separation that we were expecting. The good news here is that we didn't see any kind of explosion on the launch pad, and it actually launched, which they were saying is a huge success. And of course, Elon Musk had warned about that. But then just explain to us what we think happened, because we seem to see it spinning and then, of course, the explosion.
Right. So what we didn't see was a stage separation.
Yeah.
We should have had at that point, explosive bolts should have fired to separate the Starship from the booster, and then the Starship would have ignited its own engines. That didn't happen. And so separation systems have plagued spacecraft and launch systems since the beginning. We've had a lot of cases like this where separation didn't occur or where there's difficulty with separation. And so it's one of those things at these transition points, something can go wrong. It might have been some kind of a glitch where the signal wasn't sent to fire the explosive bolts. It could have been something like a cable had been loose and became disconnected. So we just don't know what caused the problem at this point. But as we clearly saw, the vehicle did not separate. And so that changed all the dynamics. And that's why you saw the end over end spinning, is because the booster was supposed to kind of back itself away, if you will, and then do a semi-controlled splashdown. With the added weight of the Starship vehicle, the dynamics changed, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, it just ended up spinning like a Catherine wheel, which the physics of that makes sense. Leroy, do you think anything of this will be salvaged, or is the data the most important part? Because, as we were saying earlier, that the hope eventually, of course, is that we can keep the rocket, which is allowing us to collapse the cost of space travel in general. There was obviously the Starship there, sure, that we don't know what sort of state that's going to be in post-explosion either.
Right. And so I'm sure that the SpaceX team will be trying to salvage as many pieces as they can to get more clues on what happened, what went wrong, and what they can try to fix or change to try to prevent that from happening on the next flight test. But the fact that it did clear the tower, that was one of Elon Musk's and SpaceX's big concerns, is that it cleared the tower and get away and not explode on the pad and severely damage or destroy the launch pad. So the launch pad is in good shape. It's ready to be kind of cleaned up and reused again. So hopefully we'll see a second flight test and get even further down the field, if you will, on the next one.
Yeah, I mean, he said, didn't he, Elon Musk, on Twitter Spaces, that the big danger was an explosion of the rocket on the launch pad. It melted the infrastructure, and then that could take months to repair before they can do another launch and trial this. I guess we have to reiterate what we hope this Starship and the Super Heavy rocket's going to ultimately be used for. Moon landing in 2025. He's talked about perhaps a Mars landing in the not too distant future too. We have to get this wrong in order to get this right, because we learn from it.
Absolutely right. This system is being designed to be fully reusable. So at maturity and when it's operational, the Falcon Super Heavy will return to either the launch site or a drone ship, just like the Falcon 9 first stage does. And the Starship, of course, will re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, come back down, and also land softly in order to be reused. So if you have a fully reusable system, you've dramatically lowered the cost of launching things into space. And so Starship is revolutionary in so many ways, and very exciting to watch the development and this morning's flight test.
Yeah, I'll go back to the data that I was going to use before we got that launch, which was the NASA Space Launch System rocket. It underwent 4 attempts to complete a wet dress rehearsal and 2 launch attempts before it finally took off in November 2022. And I vividly remember that we had so many sort of aborted missions and attempts before it actually went off. But Leroy, I should reiterate for our viewers as well, there was no one aboard that. So this was just a test flight. Don't panic for anybody that perhaps is just tuning in and just saw that. What do you think the atmosphere is like at Star Command? Because I mentioned we saw Elon Musk's face. He sort of, people were cheering, crowds were clearly very excited and happy. But, there's sort of a bittersweet moment here too, in that there were clearly complications.
Sure. Of course, people have a little bit of disappointment that the separation didn't occur and Starship didn't make it into space on this flight. But of course, jubilation that the first stage was able to get the stack away and at least partial success on this flight test. And so, I think, as you said, it's a bit bittersweet. There's celebration that they got this far, but of course, there has to be a little bit of disappointment that they didn't get even farther. But I'm sure that'll motivate the team to work even harder for the next flight test to hopefully get it all the way done.
Yeah, we'll see. What's your bet? How long before we see another one?
I think it'll be pretty short order. I mean, Elon Musk and SpaceX are very serious about this. They've made it very clear that Falcon Super Heavy and Starship, this vehicle is the future of the company. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see another vehicle being prepped immediately. And in fact, I'm sure it's already has been in work. And so, it's a matter of getting the regulatory license to launch again, get the launch pad cleaned up and fix the things that need fixing, and finding out the root cause of today's, failure to complete the test, and then implementing any changes. So it could be as quick as several months. We will just have to wait to see what the announcement is and how quickly they can determine what needs to be changed.
Yeah, because the work's clearly going to start immediately. SpaceX have just tweeted, of course, it's a tweet. As if the flight test was not exciting enough, Starship experienced a rapid, unscheduled disassembly before stage separation. Leroy, back to you. Any way you can put that into non-space speak for us, please?
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's an interesting. I mean, SpaceX certainly not the first company to use that jargon. That's used in the industry.
Yes.
And of course, it means explosion. But
Okay,
I don't know
good.
why we use
We
that
saw that.
in the industry. But we did see that, yes.
Yeah, just in case you missed it. To your point, we shall wait for further information, and fingers crossed it's not too much of a difficult fix, and they'll be launching again. It's a date. Leroy,
Right,
come back and
absolutely.
help us, please, with your book of translations for us. Great to chat to you, sir. Thank you. Leroy Chatterley.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you.